4, 5. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Oh, we can't see out there. No, you have to look at go to Facebook and then go to Blue Herbal Goddess and then you can sit it.
That's after the January.
No, you can do it now while it's live. Hey y'all,
you really doing this while we live?
Yeah, you can do it.
Okay.
On Facebook and it'll pop up that I'm live.
Sorry, y'all. We just wait.
Hey, yeah, we're doing some logistics here. Yep, there we go. See,
technical difficulties. You already know Mercury retrograde.
See, just the volume down, and then you can get it. Hey, y'all, it's Nicole from Blue Herbal Goddess, and I have with us today
Shawanda
and
Goddess Drea.
So y'all seen Andrea doing like the tarot and stuff. So today, what I wanted to talk about is because being in retrograde, even not in retrograde, because it really doesn't matter. Right? You're gonna have to speak up too, because you see how far that thing is. Right? A lot of people are coming in, and with all these shifts and things that are happening, people's gifts are really starting to wake up. Like, wake up. And a lot of these gifts you guys have already had when you were kids, but they weren't cultivated, or it scared you, and then you suppressed it, or what have you. But a lot of them are waking up. And so a lot of people are coming in, and they're like, this feels like a curse. Like, I see dead people, or I'm feeling spirits, or there's somebody talking to me, and I feel like I'm going crazy, or I'm just feeling everybody's emotions. And a lot of people are feeling like these things are curses. So our topic today is it a curse or is it a gift? So let's talk through some of the things that you've noticed yourself, Shawanda, like as, you're waking up, what made you feel like it was like a curse?
An experience that I had at work. The experience that I had was when I woke up in the morning, I felt great. But when I went to work, I started feeling yucky. I didn't understand why I was feeling the way I was feeling. And then 7 hours later, I realized that maybe this is not my feelings. This is somebody else's feelings and emotions. And true enough, it was somebody else's emotions that I was feeling. So for me, it was a curse because I didn't understand what it was. And I went through 7 hours of feeling yucky, not understanding
like you in hell. Like, what is this?
I felt what the feeling was tired, drained, lethargic. At one point, I felt like I wanted to throw up. It was just all these emotions, and I didn't know where they were coming from. So for me, it was like there was a curse. It was like, ooh, I don't like this. What is this?
Right. But think about that. So you're feeling these people's emotions and things, but when you actually dug down and figured out what it was, what did you finally decide was the culprit? It had to be other people's energies.
Other people's energy, yeah.
Right.
Energy.
But what is the flip side of that? So you had all this stuff going on, but the flip side of that is when you become grounded in this gift, it can tell you how people are feeling, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So is that really a curse or a gift? Like for you to be able to come into a space or people and you're like, you can kind of feel what's going on with them. So kind of what you need to do to either help them or avoid them.
Yeah. So later on, when I figured out, maybe this is somebody else's emotions, not mine. So earlier we had talked, and they're in a situation or a space to where they're not ready to deal with whatever they're going through. So once I figured out that it was that person's emotions that I was feeling, the only thing I could do at that point was, I was like, okay, let me try something. So I prayed for that person, and immediately I felt better. And then I talked to them later and asked them how they felt, and they felt better. So for me, I found out that it really wasn't a curse. It was a gift, because it was the universe allowing me to understand how they feel. And they just needed somebody to kind of like help them through their emotions for them to feel better.
Right.
So that's what happened. So that's what I learned that day.
Okay. Andrea. Like you got a whole lot of something going on. Right.
Well, I've lot of instances, but I think one that was really pivotal that kind of switched some stuff around was my dreams. So I began dreaming about different people in certain situations, and I would warn them ahead of time before it would happen. And I didn't think that it would, but it came to pass. One example would be at my apartment complex, I had a dream about the lady in the office that handled all the paperwork and stuff. And so I told her, we just went before work, I told her, it was like, right now isn't a time for you to go and do inspections by yourself. If you're going to go into other apartment buildings and stuff like that, you don't need to be by yourself because something's going to happen. Somebody's supposed to not be in there and you're expecting it to be empty and it's not. So you don't need to, at least for the next few months, you don't need to go in by yourself. Make sure you have somebody. Don't go at night. This is that and third. So a week goes by after that. They come around and do pest control, and she's with them, and I see her, and she's like, I meant to tell you sooner, but we had an eviction that went wrong. So this lady was supposed to move out, and she complied when the cops came, so they're thinking everything was good. But come to find out, they come back to the apartment, to get it all cleaned and stuff like that, and realize that the lady moved back in and changed the locks. So she was like, I was just so thankful that you told me this. It just got a little crazy, and I want to know what to do if you didn't tell me. So
you learned to tap into the gift.
Yes.
Versus, because if I remember earlier, it was like, I don't want to know this stuff. I don't want to know this stuff.
I don't.
It's like stuff is coming, and you're like, I don't want to know it. I don't want to know people's business.
Exactly, and it does. Spirit does talk, and there's no discrimination. If it's a warning, it's a warning, and if I'm given the information, 9 times out of 10 it's true. The Spirit will reveal some very deep truths and some things that it'll be hard for you to just digest because it's just so impactful, and it could be life-changing for different people if I even say it. I have this information, but it has to be more of a right place and a right time for me to say it versus I get it and then I blurt it out. I don't want to be a part of those consequences, for that that chain reaction.
So this is you learning though what information you're supposed to share and what information you're not.
Yes.
Right, but that comes from you learning the gift.
Yes.
Versus, I have a lot of people that come in here and they are very excited, especially people who first come into their spirituality and they just want to share. They're very excited. They want to tell the world. Yeah. And one of the things that I have them do is I have them, pick some crystals, and then I'll do a crystal reading to say, okay, you need to probably close your throat chakra up.
Yes.
Right? You're not supposed to tell everybody everything that's you're thinking and coming out. That's not for you to share with the world. You got to start using your discernment to decide what you share and what you don't share, which is kind of what you're learning is just because it comes in doesn't mean it needs to come out. Right? And there's a flip side to that too, right? When it comes in and you don't say or do what it's kind of nudging you to do, there could be consequences for that as well.
Yeah. I suffer those as well.
Right. So I think with the gift or curse thing, it's all in you knowing thyself, right? It's that knowing thyself and making sure that the energy is clear within yourself so you can make the right discernment as to whether should I say something, should I say nothing, should I move on this thought or idea, or in some cases like mine, it screams at me sometimes, and then I know I was just being hard-headed and or lazy and like, I don't want to do that right now, or no, we're not doing that because I don't want to deal with that. And they're like, did you hear what I said? It's like, okay, let me get up.
Yeah.
Right?
They do that to me at work. They did that recently to me at work. I've been seeing angel numbers for like 3 days straight, the same ones. They're just like, yeah.
Yeah. So the discernment as to gift or curse has to come from within, because when people see things as a curse, I usually say when it's a gift, it's because you're in your lower vibration. And so when you're in your lower vibration, you're going to feel differently about yourself. You're going to feel differently about others around you, which is why when you go on a spiritual journey, it has to be about you, not about anybody else, right? And you can't drag everybody with you, because when you try to drag people with you and their energy is all jacked up, right, it can mess with your energy. And that's one of the things that we have to really start honing in on, is you have to save yourself first. Right? Once you figure out your stuff, then you can start going and helping others. But at least then you have the discernment as to should you even be putting your energy into these people whom you originally surrounded yourself with. Mm-hmm. Did y'all have anything else to say about the curse or the gift?
It's gonna make you frustrated. You're gonna not want to do it. You're not gonna want to listen, and you're not gonna want to see the truth, because depending on how they put it in your face is more. It'll let you know how you're gonna respond, and how you respond is everything. And if you're feeling like dang, then that means you haven't fully accepted what was said, or even fully accepted the gift that you have. And if you're like, well, then that means you are still positive about your gift, and now that's when the discernment kicks in on what you do with what was given to you.
And so I think it also, and I don't know, this thought just popped into my mind, is a lot of the decision as to, whether you think it's a curse or a gift depends on a lot of how spiritual sometimes you were before you come into actual spirituality. You were very deep in the church. A lot of these gifts, psychic, tarot reading, crystals, all this was seen as demonic. So if you still have those things in the back of your head that these things are bad, then you're probably going to see your gifts as being bad. But when you think about the beginning and the end, and you think about it, you believe in God, you believe in a higher power, and everything as an A through Z, and you believe He's beginning and end, then guess what? Everything in the middle is of Almighty God, higher power, whatever you believe in, it's all a part of the evolution of us. So something to think about, food for thought. Andrea is going to pull us a card for the day. What are things, an oracle card for the day about what we should be looking out for?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Make sure you speak up.
That's a good one. Okay. So what we got today was card number 7 in my Egyptian deck. And in this deck, it's Mercury, it's the Hermit, it's Virgo, and it says service as well. 7 right now is traditionally belongs to Libra. We are now in Libra season, but it's emphasizing right now that people need to learn discernment. Just like in this conversation, how learning when you get something from spirit, when to say it and when not to, that's this time right now. And you're going to get a lot of self-reflection because of the Hermit. The Hermit in tarot is somebody that sits in their thoughts and leads the way in silence. So right now is the time for you to build for yourself whatever it is that you're trying to start. People that trying to do things with their hands, creating, making sure that you're keeping your mind busy as well. Try not to get depressed with this energy, because you're going to want to sit and be quiet, but don't be isolating yourself from different people, because even Libra season, you got to emphasize the relationships that you have in your life, whether if that's with your family or if that's with your friends or a loved one, or even your boyfriend, husband, girlfriend, wife, etc., etc. So that's what's being called for right now. Try not to give too much service to too many different people.
Say that again.
Try not to be of service to too many people.
Too many people.
You gotta be able to give some and then preserve some, if that makes sense. So learn
And
the Holy Ghost about
give it to yourself.
Yes. So that's really what is emphasized right now during this season and for today.
All right. Thank y'all. If you have any questions, y'all can always call us 931-981-9444. And we are located at 1573 Fort Campbell Boulevard,
Yeah.
right across the street from Crunch Fitness. And Drea will be here today for tarot reads if you're
Yeah.
looking for one. Have a good day. See ya.
Bye.